they did not want to receive any of that extra stuff that Dignitas may have and trick up their sleeve. Scarra played that Veigar pretty well. The team didn't synergize with it too good on the Event Horizon initiations, but definitely had an impact in that mid lane on Veigar.
Meanwhile, 3 mid lane bans from Dignitas. They even forced to ban out the Gragas themselves.
Bang, boom.
Even though Scarra loves that champion since CLG our first pick.
It pained him a little bit.
Now what direction do they want to go? Because Sivir's up and CLG have been one of the teams that just love that champion. Prioritize her so much. This is 4.3 Kassadin. So his end game, a lot of damage was taken off both the Null Spear and the Force Pulse.
Will not be raising anything this game. Let's see what they get. And it's going to be the Elise lock-in. Dexter, he's enjoyed his Elise. 2-0 so far in weeks 6 and 7, so just more recently on that pick. Definitely taking it away as well. That's 4 times played by Crumbzz, along with banning his Elise.
So Dexter, after that amazing game he had on Elise, where he had 100% kill participation, he said, oh yeah, don't even have to worry about that because I'm never going to get Elise again because all the teams are going to ban it out against us. He has since gotten her twice.
Yeah.
And he gets her one more time. We'll have to see what he can do from the jungle because he's done such a good job. As I said before, his ability, not only the early game shot calls that are aggressive, but also his ability to read the enemy jungler. It seems like he has a pretty good handle on a lot of the LCS junglers, what the pathing is going to be for them. So I'm very curious what Crumbzz will pick into this. Lee Sin is up, something that Crumbzz has had a lot of success on, and it has a very good early game versus Elise.
And I was wondering when that pick was actually going to happen, and he brings it out right away. Aphromu's first take onto Morgana will be this game.
And they combo with the Sivir. Man,
Doublelift loves his Sivir.
I'm pretty sure CLG are very happy with the way this pick ban is going so far. I mean, goodness, they've got 3 very high priority picks. For Dignitas though, they got that Jinx for Kiwikid. That has been something that they place so much importance on. It's pretty much...
I think after coming up with another win on that, he questioned himself, why did I stop playing this champion? Going back on that, the woe indeed.
I mean, I'm happy here.
We talked a little bit about wombo combos today. Amumu, Curse of the Sad Mummy into a Ziggs bomb is quite a combo in itself.
Extremely happy to see Amumu played once again. The buffs to Spirit Stone helped him out a lot because even though it reduced the sustain for single target, it actually buffed it for AoE. And Amumu can power farm so quickly in the jungle right now. Where I'm very, very, very interested to see if Dexter can take advantage of Amumu's very weak early game though. If he invades Amumu, he can easily take him in the jungle. So this is going to be a game all about lanes collapsing into the early jungle fights. Can Dexter find Crumbzz? Can he take advantage of this Amumu early? I'm really, really looking forward to see this jungle matchup now.
Looks like the Nidalee does get locked in. Wait to see what they're going to put in the...
Whoa!
Is that going to be going back in the top lane?
I'm glad CLG are give me a lot of chances to pull out the 4.3 changes here. Ryze got a good range buff to his Q as well as base health, which is giant. He got... It's almost, 2 quintessence of health buff to him.
Yeah, that's right.
Just starting out level 1. And the range buff is actually very important to Ryze combo because they buff the Q. So now it has longer range than your Prism. So he can actually, which is the way you want to start your Ryze combo. You want to start out with Q for max damage, and then since his other spells reduce the cooldown, then you follow up with 2 other spells and you have another Q ready. So it's a pretty big DPS boost for Ryze, having that range.
Hands on the keyboard, making sure it gets out. Last time we saw Ryze was the Spirit Visage changes, the cooldown, a little bit of that for himself, and get a little bit of that health as well. We'll see what they can do with him. Kiwikid is going to be locking in that Wukong for Crumbzz, something he has tried his hand on and has a 100% win rate in week 1 and week 4. So it has been a little bit since they put that Wukong into the composition.
So Wukong going to go where? Amumu going to go where? Looks like we do have a support Wukong at the moment.
Did we get that support Amumu
Wombo
out of
combo
Edward?
Indeed, a Rivingtone.
Get the support Amumu out of Edward a long time ago.
Yeah, they could switch it up. They have till 10 seconds.
Yep.
Could be the support Amumu, in which case I will be less enthused. Now, the top lane, though, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this here, because Cruzer, he's had a lot of success on Dr. Mundo. And going back to that champion with teleport, they will have that teleport advantage, but Ryze scales so well, and Mundo is an easy lane to farm early against. So CLG are taking a high-scaling champion that just got buffs into this Mundo, and they're going to run Ignite. And they have a jungle Elise, so they have not only good endgame scaling, but they can also kill Mundo early with a tower dive.
So is that something that they want to focus on, or is it just for Mundo to run away and keep himself safe? As they dive Mundo.
Oh, yeah, they want to kill Mundo. That's why, yeah, he's taking Ignite and Elise. They definitely want to kill
that's what I'm saying. Is that something the team wants to focus on, helping Mundo, or is he just going to be able to keep himself safe, knowing that's a priority?
Definitely, they're going to want to at least ward up there. Probably we'll see Wukong doing his double golems and waiting around for counter gank. I got you.
Right. So as the champs load into the Rift, let's take a look at who you guys voted on to win this game. 76% of you think Counter Logic Gaming are going to take a 5th win in a row. 76%. That's pretty big. I mean, considering the hot streak that they're on, not too surprising. But Dignitas are pulling out some of those crazy stuff that they were talking about in the video here. It will, in fact, be that Support Amumu tribute to Edward right now. I'm sure Big Eddie is happy. He starts off with a little coin regeneration there as well. And Spell Thief onto Aphromoo.
That's very high potential for harass
Didn't go
from
for the
the
root.
CLG team. If a binding lands.
All right, gentlemen. Woo. I like this game already.
Yeah, this is way more exciting than normal NA LCS games.
They're not just standing there.
So that's a strategy that Cloud9 were doing when Sneaky would try and shove out the mid lane so the rest of the team could sneak in there. A lot of teams actually were doing that.
EG too, yep.
Yeah, EG did it.
With the Mana Crystal start by Nien in the top lane.
Oh, man, this is a...
Ooh.
Everybody.
Get it in there.
We're so used to being bored at this time that everybody's really hanging on every single spell that comes out. But yeah, the Mana Crystal for Ryze is a pretty standard buy for him. That is so much early trading power for Ryze. He has a lot of early bullying for this lane, especially with that buff to his range for Q. Meanwhile, Mundo taking advantage of the recently reduced crystal, health crystal, ruby crystal, purchased for himself to start that one out. That one going on sale. Cruzer picking himself up one pretty early here, and they look like they're going to go for a switch. Whenever Dignitas do take Jinx and they had success, a lot of times they did go for the turret switches, so they're going to flip that one over.
Well, it looks like Nien is telling his forefathers that somebody invaded the jungle on this one, and it does not look like they're going to be able to retaliate. He himself could be in a pretty scary situation, but no, Crumbzz grabs that up, does get the smite down. It looks like that Dexter is actually on the same clip here. He gets out of the red buff.
I mean, I do like this early game from Diggs so far. Taking away the blue buff, having Cruzer start in the jungle, whereas Nien, Nien was just up top sitting there, so Nien wasting out on time early because he doesn't want to overextend and he doesn't want the wave to push away from him. So he didn't even want to go and last hit those minions. But a little bit of extra jungle experience there for Cruzer. Even though Dexter answers, the ward from Dig lets them know where he is, and they gain very, very valuable information about that position of Elise early. It looks like they might even just give up this turret.
And this could be difficult because Nien on Ryze isn't one that can go and take jungle camps by himself like Cruzer is right now. Cruzer's up 7 CS, and Nien is just waiting for minions to crash into the turret.
Yeah. Yeah, that's he's going to have a pretty good jungle lead here, Cruzer, but he is going to be walking into a 3v1 since Dexter invaded blue side and he's waiting around. That's why I was saying they might just give up this turret because it's so dangerous to go back to that side of the map. And Cruzer does not actually do it. So jungle Cruzer on Mundo playing with a Wukong and an Amumu. Dignitas just destroying the meta all by themselves.
Some we had to say we expected to see from CLG. They're doing new things every time, and not that it's brand new, but we haven't seen it in a few weeks. And CLG goes back to swapping the lanes in NA, and they're trying to get the strong push on. Again with the Sivir comp, now to the bottom lane. They're going for the second tier, and there's not much that the top laners can do about it. And really, only Nien is there.
He's still level 1. Cruzer's level 2. He's gotten income from the jungle. Cruzer's getting a lot more out of this than Nien is. Ryze can't do anything to stop this. Dignitas have a really great battle plan laid out from the beginning here. Because of the power of Jinx tower pushing, they're even on turrets with this switch, even though the top turret, the first one, has extra reduced damage from champions. Ooh. And they've been able to keep down Nien, as well as get a support amumu through laning phase.
Swap working out quite nicely here, and it looks like they are into that top turret. They've both taken down 2 tiers in the top and bottom lane, and a very fast game for CLG versus Dig here for that aggression. Usually we see the teams kind of stall out here because nobody can push into the jungle now.
Man, I also want to point out another benefit from this switch from Dignitas. The Spell Thief start from Aphromoo didn't get him anything since there was no champions for him to attack.
Oh, they're going in. It's going to be Dexter on the outside. They didn't expect him to see him there. Kiwikid luckily mentions Crumbzz. He could be going down for first blood. He's too close. The minions, and they do come up very big. Link with the kill.
All right. Dig with a great early battle plan, but the failed dive under a turret there. Cocoon landing, binding landing, flash failing into the wall, and CLG take first blood.
Unfortunate things for a very fortunate start on the side of Chronologic Gaming. Dignitas is going to look to repair that little misfortune quite soon here. They did try to get the first move on using Kiwikid from the aggression, and the gank at level 3 coming from the top lane. So now that the lane swap has kind of fizzled out, we're going to have to see what these teams have for each other after both top and second tier turrets going down.
Let's take a look at this. Level 4, 27 CS Mundo. Level 3 Ryze. Ryze is trying to freeze. Mundo doing the same thing, but he has teleport. Kiwikid, he's landing bandages. So that's a good sign so far for the old support amumu, who is going to be rushing for that talisman. Like this added benefit that Dignitas will have that speed boost, because you need, well, he just ruined his bandage hit percentage there. But they need this speed for the late game, because they're a wombo combo, as we just talked about in that video. They need their positioning to be perfect. If they miss their combo, then they are going to be
very easily punishable.
Not in a good spot.
Yeah. Once you miss something like that, the other team is instantly going to take control, punish your every move that you missed. We'll see Kiwikid quite low here, gets hit up.
My
they go for the dive! The boomerang just misses! The very fast flash from Kiwikid keeps himself alive. They get out a nice black shield for the satchel charge knockback.
Wow, what a play from Dexter there. Those are those aggressive calls that we're talking about. They almost picked up that kill just from that cocoon landing. Really good jump from him, but they were not rewarded with it, and Kiwikid lives to fight another day.
Unless the wolf turns around and bites him. He's good to go, though. Help with Crumbzz. Gets a little bit of lifesteal off of Doran's and what's in his runes, if any. 7 minutes, 10 seconds into the game. Gold is even across the board, even with 25 CS lead in that top lane.
And we do have Kiwikid rushing for the Sightstone now. Very much cheaper. I really like the changes to it. It's definitely worth rushing. And he doesn't upgrade his coin, but he will get more vision control, and they need a lot more vision because of the early turrets that have gone down, just completely opening up this map. Both blue buffs are open to invade now, and a lot of map pressure is going to be focused on those sides of the map here.
See what Dignitas can do with this composition. We see Nidalee Doublelift on Sivir games, or rather Sivir games and Nidalee games, where people want to dive to that back line, and you got an Amumu on your team with a Wukong. You're
no teleport
very
Ryze,
well prepared to do that.
5 versus 4 here.
AoE damage as well for this fight. I don't know if CLG is really going to be able to pressure this. Aphromoo is not 6 yet, but no 6. That's the only 6 in the board. They're going to want that Mega Inferno Bomb to come out in this fight if they can get him in a good spot. Crumbzz going in, level 5 as well. No ultimates to be used here, but I do not believe that Dexter has anywhere to go. He does dodge out the bomb, though. Very nice.
So they land 2 skill shots, but it's still it's actually 3 versus 5 since Doublelift farming bottom. And they did overlap the binding and cocoon, not able to burst down Scarra. So Dexter actually ends up losing his life this time, and Dignitas with the patient play. Very, very well calculated early battle plan here, taking advantage of no teleport Ryze. They get an objective, and they get a kill.
Aphromoo getting a good push in mid lane with Link. Nien still on the top lane. He's got himself back up in CS, but he has not been back to buy yet. He knows he will not be participating anytime soon, so he is going to farm and soak up as much as possible right now.
Yeah. Blue Invade, though, as I talked about, they're going to be very important objectives for both teams here. Nidalee definitely needs to have as many of those as possible, and CLG secure their own side before rotating top. This turret should be theirs to take.
Ooh, very close. Aphromoo still actually level 5 coming into this engagement. So is Kiwikid.
Yeah. Dignitas decide to trade farm on Imaqtpie bottom. Whoa, good W there from Crumbzz. To trade that farm for the top turret. Imaqtpie right now should probably be switching from freeze mode to shoving this bottom lane. Yes, he is flipping over to his rockets. Trying to shove out that bottom lane so they can return top and try and keep a secondary one from going down, because Nien spent this whole time slow pushing that top to build up this massive wave of ranged minions.
This is a really great push. Link not in mid lane anymore in this top lane, but Doublelift is still pushing the mid turret, calling Imaqtpie over. CLG is trying to spread, dig thin right now, and so far it's working.
Ziggs is the answer to large minion waves. Imaqtpie, though, he rotated up mid to try and defend it. The call should be coming out from Dig that the top 4-man squad has left the area. So that's why you saw Imaqtpie rotate down around away from this turret.
Oh, taking out the minions. Link's going to take a few more shots, but he's got a good primal surge to keep him in, especially with that blue buff being there. They are more than happy to keep these fights going, and that's something that's going to benefit them as well, as these longer fights, all those heals coming out of Link become quite big towards the late game.
2 turrets for CLG on that map movement from blue buff to top lane to mid lane. They just grabbed a lot of money back in their pockets, and Nien has actually still not gone back to base, walking all the way down to that bottom to soak up more minions. They're putting a lot of emphasis here on this Ryze. As I said, for late game, he scales up really well. Should be able to get a huge, huge power spike going on his first return to base.
Something we used to see when Ryze was played a lot. Actually, Reginald used to play a lot of Ryze. Scarra used to play a lot of Ryze. Towards the end game, they almost become like an 80 carry damage with spells because it just comes out so fast. That's what he's called, the machine gun Ryze.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can get to that point. He's been sitting in lane, still yet to go back. More than happy to farm. He's out of mana. He's probably regen that mana just by sitting in lane a few times. Scarra and Link both wearing the blue buff right now, so neither of them have been thwarted off of that yet. Both teams are just kind of feel each other out. Like we said, it slows down after teams push that hard on those turrets. They get a little afraid going back into the jungle without the vision.
Yeah. Now, even though right now CLG have a slight lead, there's a teleport on Mundo, so they have the lane advantage, and they can actually call down Cruzer to this bottom lane if they really want to force a turret. The problem is, since they have a melee jungler and a melee support, they need to call that teleport now!
They're going on this because Kiwikid is not 6 yet. They get him a good soul shackle lockup. Crumbzz is also there in the fight, and they are pushed out, but like you said, the teleport is still there, and Cruzer is a huge factor. The Mega Inferno Bomb coming in from the side, only going to be a bit of damage on Aphromoo.
Crumbzz had to use his ulti, and he lost almost all of his HP bar, so he has to return to base. CLG with the aggression, because they got the jump, they're able to take away Dignitas' teleport advantage. Even though they got no kill right there, that was a huge win for CLG. That battle just got them a lot of map control up top. Nien's been pushing, and now not only does he have the tier, but also the Rod of Ages in one buy. So he is a ticking time bomb of ability power here. He's building up all this mana. As soon as he builds that into his Seraphs, he's going to transform into a god.
See what he can do for himself. He's got 10 minutes to go here. 99 to 86. He's got himself the lead now in CS in that top lane. 4-2 in turrets as Counterlogic Gaming continues to take down the structures. Not as many champions this time. Like we said, CLG kind of changes form. They're either going to not kill you and take out your whole base, or kill you and do the same thing. Take the rest.
This is by far the most interesting game that we've seen in a long time from North American LCS. Both teams coming out with great game plans. Towards the mid, though, here, I have to be worried about how CLG are going to use this on the hunt, because they are going to have very, very quick team rotations, whereas Dignitas have the single-man ability to traverse the map here with the teleport from Cruzer. So CLG are probably going to be sticking together more than Dignitas, where Dignitas trying to take advantage of the split and then teleport in when CLG are in a bad position. Ward coverage, though, does get CLG the jump on Dragon, objective down, and they are able to exit the pit in time. That's really key, because Dig have not been able to use all 3 of their ultis yet. If they can get that Amumu, Wukong, into Jinx ultimate and Ziggs ultimate, then we're going to see the power of this squad that Dig have gotten. But because the rotations here, we have not seen that team fight yet.
Interested to see how Nien really reacts in these fights.
Oh,
that's going to hurt a little bit. That's
a
hit. He can't even use Curse of the Sad Mummy. But the Wukong ult is very good. And the Soul Shackle. Oh my god, they shred down Dexter. Aphromoo gets out with a sliver of health. No, the Cleaver going from Cruzer takes him out.
What?
Nien takes a few more shots. Link's doing what he can in Cougar form. The barrier from Kiwikid, a little early on that one, but he does get the pressure off himself. Does it perfectly. Saves that, and here comes Crumbzz from the other side trying to get in. One last assist. It will all be for Cruzer.
I have to say that was a fairly awkward flash from Nien. He didn't exactly flash away from the danger, just over the wall, and there was already a ward there for Dig, so that ward enabled them to actually kill him anyway after the flash here. So Kiwikid, great start for our CLG, but here come, they've got plenty of AoE ultimates still left in the bag. Dignitas have so many AoE ults, even with Amumu down. Still able to get this one off. And then, since Crumbzz and Cruzer kite, Doublelift, and Link, that's a lot of CLG's DPS that's not actually able to hit anyone for that whole time. Even though Crumbzz got low, they were able to kite him long enough and he didn't lose his life, so it worked out really well because the backline could kill Nien while Nien is weak. Even though he's got a tier and the rod, those take a long time to stack up. He's not a god yet. He has to wait for that 10 minutes for both of those things to stack up.
Right.
And, 2 versus 1, he's not going to be able to finish anybody off.
So without Curse of the Sad Mummy even going off that fight, Dignitas still scrambles and reassesses and gets the win for themselves there. It was 1 kill for CLG, 4 for Dig coming into that fight, and the gold lead is only 600 in the favor of Dignitas.
I know, it's so close. This is ridiculous. Next time, if Kiwikid is actually able to get his initiate off, then it could be a completely different story too. Like it would even be a bigger win for Dignitas. The only thing is, after they use all of their ults, they need to get objectives.
Ooh, yummy.
Kiwikid caught out again. He's very, very squishy on this Amumu because he has rushed for the Talisman. As I said in the last game, no combat stats on that thing. It's so much money into all positional advantage. And if he's not able to take advantage of that position, which he keeps getting caught out, then it's very, very ineffective for him.
Like a shock and awe tactic that has so much high risk, high reward. But if you can get that shock and awe, the other team is completely frenzied for the fight.
He's even got the Merc Tread, so if he does get caught by some sort of CC, then he's going to try and get out of it just to get off his flash ulti. But his life is so low right now that every time he is out of position, they're just bursting him down.
See what Nien can do. I'm really interested to see how long and what kind of control they have on Crumbzz if he can get a good rune prison down. He'd probably be within range to get popped up still, but it would give Doublelift safety, give Link safety, and allow the team to really assess it.
There's the Talisman.
Good flash. They're able to get out of that one. That was Link trying to get himself safe, and Dexter's going to be up front to keep the defense there. A little bit of a meat shield. We'll see what they can do. Crumbzz does now have the Brutalizer on top of the Lizard. Level 9, not quite level 10 yet, or 11 rather, so waiting for that second alt tick.
It's Doublelift doing the solo split push. He has to be careful though, he's not on his classic vein. We'll have to blow his ulti if he does get caught. Aphromoo trying to back him up though. They know they don't have ward coverage. Now, ward coverage in this game, everybody wants it on both sides of the jungle, but since so much of this game is about pushing lanes, it's hard for them to spare the time. to get those wards down. So every single ward is so important that they can get into the jungle. And as I said, the blue buffs have a lot of them concentrated in those areas with the early turrets going down. And both the mid laners being so reliant on those blue buffs for the sustain and for clearing waves. Those are definitely hotbeds for action as well.
Scarra's doing a great job at clearing those waves, 176 to 130 right now. This is actually Link's first game this season, this split right now on Nidalee. He played it quite a bit along with Xerath back in the previous splits, but Scarra doing quite a good job of keeping top in that lane.
Now, I do have to point out one late game crack in the armor for CLG is they're very, very AP focused. If Doublelift is not able to survive a fight, if he's not able to do get a lot of auto attacks off, then Dignitas can get away with building pure magic resist if they can actually kill Doublelift, and it will be very hard for CLG to actually beat them in a team fight. Everybody else doing magic damage. We can already see this in effect, actually. Even a Negatron Cloak picked up by Crumbzz before
they almost
health.
need to take advantage of that now. Doublelift could easily get through whatever base
He would get
armor.
so squishy, though, he has to use a talisman to run away.
He's all right. He won't get tripped up on the cord. Good to go.
Really
He was just looking
legs.
for some friends. That's all. 20 minutes on the clock, 5-3. And the gold lead still very, very close. Hasn't even broken the 1,000 deficit yet to either side.
I don't know about this choice for trading Dragon for turrets, because turrets are even more important in this game. I like CLG's position way more. The turrets are going to be determining the late game here because everybody's going to want to be pathing through the jungle. Ziggs! What a great champion to have on your team when it's one of these, but a wave clear is not enough. And Dig don't even get the Dragon for it. So CLG just completely outplaying them with their positioning. And Nien is coming up on that mark here.
All of the movement that CLG has been doing is, if you put it in time, 10 to 15 seconds ahead of the other team. That required a Ziggs bomb from all the way in mid. That was the only thing they had when CLG had 3 members on the top side. It's going to be on the hunt, and that is some huge muscles being flexed here just to get the inhibitor turret.
This is ridiculous. CLG with a great play. On the hunt spent, though, they don't have the retreat. Kiwikid, the talisman is back up, but they don't want to go for it. Jinx still down there by Dragon. They stay a little bit close in gold because of the pickup from Dragon, but man, is that not worth having your inhibitor exposed.
CLG has been doing a very good job of not presenting themselves to Dignitas. They know they should be in a full team fight. They're going to be using Link right now to get those spears out, and really, they've been doing great rotation around the map. Just grabbing top turret makes it 6-3. Now we got that 1,000 gold lead. Imaqtpie, however, is trying to bring that back in their favor. And
I really want to point out how many wards CLG got down on that last move. Not only did they get the upper hand with the inhibitor turret going down, but having gone through the red side jungle, they got some more information, getting all of the wards down by the red side jungle, and they'll be able to follow up that move with repeat moves to the weak side of Dignitas base. Whew. All right, take a breather, everybody.
And CLG has not been happy with just one thing. They take something and they go for the next. It's always an idea. It's always the advantage that they want to grab even more of.
Yeah, but because they were spent so much time all by the top side there, and they got that inhibitor turret, there's always somebody from Dignitas getting something on the other side of the map. They got the Dragon at least to keep them close in gold, and then Kiwi stayed down there, or Imaqtpie stayed down bottom lane, and he got the bottom lane turret. It is an outer turret, so it doesn't give them the territory that they want, but it does give them more global gold. Again, the gold in this game is almost dead even, only separated by 300 gold in favor of CLG. So even though they've got great map control, the actual combat ability of the teams is still pretty close. And Dig are the ones who have all of those AoE abilities. So if CLG don't spread out during their team fight, then it just takes one giant team fight in the base of Dignitas where they can kill everyone and take a Baron or something.
And that's what CLG, like we said, is not giving them. They're making sure that they have an idea of what to do after they go for Dragon. And they also have the idea of what if Dragon doesn't work. They're not just going with one-sided ideas. It looks like the team is always ready for any outcome in any situation. They've been coming out on top of it this game their wins to 4 straight wins show that they've been doing it in their previous games. And consistency is really coming out for CLG, and how they practice seems like how they play now.
Plus, you always have to take into account the towers that are still up for CLG are standing gold that if Dignitas do win that team fight, they can grab up.
Right.
So even though the gold is even right now, if Dig win the team fight, if they can get a team fight and win it, then they can collect all these extra global objectives here, these extra turrets outside that are going to give them another gold boost. So 6-4 in turrets currently for CLG, but if Dignitas are able to turn it around, gold could swing back in their favor very quickly.
And we say that, you know, the gold is even. The map is, however, swinging in favor of CLG, and this could really turn to one of those points where Dignitas has to approach Baron. They're the ones that, again, have to force it and get themselves back into the game, try to get a foot in the door, because CLG is not presenting themselves for fights. They're going to have to be drawn into it.
With the inhibitor exposed,
it's going to be hard.
And all of the
Real
ward
hard.
coverage that CLG got on the Dignitas side of the map,
Yeah.
CLG are the ones with the ability to make the first move, and I think they have to make that first move. Because if Dig get a chance to get back into this game and reposition themselves, realign their vision, and get that vision of Baron, then CLG are going to have a tough time. But they're doing a good job staying ahead of the curve right now.
And it looks like they're trying to get Kiwikid to be that ace up their sleeve. They haven't seen Kiwikid in the fights for a while. He's going to come back super farmed up, hopefully the late game jinx. And maybe he can turn everything into a turret and take it down, because that's what he's been looking for.
Really interested to see how Dig use their next teleport as well. That is a big advantage
Cruzer's been having to roam with the
have over Ryze. We are approaching that 10-minute mark, though, where Ryze, those early stacking items that he got, are taking full effect now. So that could be very dangerous for Dignitas. And it could be CLG's answer for that team fight. Even though Dig has all these AoE abilities, if they have got a super beefy Ryze, then he can sustain through a lot of them and take them down.
It becomes one of those ideals where new champions come out and people are like, how do we actually play against this? He looks like he's tanky. It's just a Roa and a stacking tier. Oh, man, he destroyed our team. It becomes one of those situations where you just don't know how much power it's going to bring to the table because you haven't seen it. Possibly could get another pause in here as we work out the kinks, but it looks like we should be good to go. Crumbzz back in and logged into the client, and the game will resume. We're 23 minutes in here at 22 and a half. 5-3 as Dig has come up with those 4 kills. It was 1-1. They got 4 kills in a row, and CLG has been able to pick up 2 more, but one after the other.
I think Dig are thanking their lucky stars that they have Ziggs, too, because being able to wave clear from the other side of the map is such a big benefit for the Dignitas team in this situation. And they're really going to be relying on Scarra for that wave clear to deal with all of this push from CLG. Not only do they have Nien, who's constantly by himself, but Doublelift is confident to split on Sivir, because the very quick wave clear and the ability to escape if she does get caught.
Gotta say kudos to Nien. He did not have CS for about 3 levels, and now he's just about the highest in the game at 204. Third behind, 222 is our highest. That's gonna be Scarra, like we said. He got his Ziggs. He didn't have Gragas this game, so this is the fallback. He's been quite well on Ziggs. 2-1 in 3 plays.
Yeah. So what we used to call it is freezing a lane, what Nien did. A lot of people call it slow pushing now. Basically, you just last hit the minions.
Super last.
And that was that big wave that they were able to build up, but Ziggs just obliterated it. Nien was having a good time, though, just farming side lanes by himself, so CLG focusing a lot of farm into Nien. And we will have to watch Nien closely in the team fights to see if he has the proper rotations for Ryze. You want to make best use of that passive to reduce cooldown. And we also want to watch how CLG spread out during the team fights. As we get, into close quarters, the combo!
They're trying to go on
to
Dexter.
They got one ulti down. One ulti has been used.
One ulti, one teleport.
Oh no, that's pretty much the ace that was there for Dignitas. They no longer have that trick up their sleeves, and now they're really forced into a position where they have to go for Baron. Because they're going to be losing this top side and Nien can't teleport down.
Well, it could be another inhibitor. Well, Baron's a little bit better than Dragon this time, and we'll see if Dignitas can lock it down. The curse of the Sad Mummy is down. Link's on the other side, ready to hit this. Cruzer going low. Crumbzz is going to be going low here. These guys do not have much armor. They've been building magic resistance.
Dexter's going to go
is
for
shredding
it.
them out. The inhibitor turret's so low. It misses. Baron almost within smite range. Dexter ready to get into the pit. He goes up. Dexter's going to be coming down the queue. The smite coming from both sides. It goes over to Crumbzz. Dig gets the Baron. They're going to keep continuing the fight on. Doublelift very close to getting the kill, but Crumbzz stays alive. Back and forth, the one-on-one between Link and Scarra. He comes up big, and he walks away from the explosion.
3 members of CLG down, but they got the inhibitor turret. That is 2 inhibitor turrets down. Nien's still working on the inhibitor itself. He actually has to back off since that Baron teamfight went heavily in favor of Dig. Man, can you give credit to Crumbzz. He has been the one in the high-pressure shot-calling seat for Dig. They've said, and he made, again, the call to go for Baron. He's had so much confidence in his Baron smiting abilities, and he showed why there. Now he's even chasing down Nien. Crumbzz
trying to go big.
Keeping him there long enough for Cruzer to get in, and he baits Nien over.
They're going to have this. Duranduin goes down. He flashes in. Oh, it's going to be on the clone.
Crumbzz with the outplay. All right, Dignitas fans are probably chanting for Crumbzz right now. That is ridiculous. They come out with a Baron. They got the 3 kills. Yes, their base was destroyed in the process, though. Now we have to see what they do with the Baron buff. Yes, they have control of the team fights, but can they get the team fights? Because there's a lot of repositioning for CLG.
Yeah.
And the teleport's now down.
CLG sees what happens when they walk up to the Beast. Dignitas took that fight very well. It's been what they have been wanting. They stay away from the Baron, but sometimes you got to make it work.
Okay, so a lot of credit during that Baron fight, though, because not only was it Crumbzz, you know, with the shot calling, high pressure smite and high pressure choice to go for that Baron, but Kiwikid saw him chunking Dexter down over the wall with his rockets before Dexter came in. So once Dexter came in, it was quick work for them to burst him down and take him off the field as quickly as possible. And every member on Dig was so low after that Baron, they all had to play that very well. Even though Kiwi had no ult and no life, he was able to stay alive as well. Just such close game here.
Should have been a lot different if CLG decided to fully walk around the Baron, because they held that smite for quite a long time with that pressure at Dexter.
And it showed in their life bars.
Yeah.
Holding on to that smite means you take a lot of damage from Baron.
Could have been a very different play. CLG maybe hesitated, maybe not. We'll see. Dig taking advantage of whatever happened there. Baron, now Dragon. They are putting gold in their pocket. A 3,000 gold lead after having basically no gold lead this game.
That's that standing gold I talked about. If they can win the team fight, they get so much of an advantage out of it. And they're still 2 turrets down, so there's still 2 more before they even this one up.
539 out of 750 right now for Nien. Close to the Seraph's Embrace. Trying to get stacked up. He is almost to full form himself. He is, although, on that Rod of Ages. That's fully stacked up already. 28 minutes into the game.
Take a look at the magic resist stacking. How far have Dig been able to get? So as I said earlier, very magic damage heavy team for CLG. Dig do have another Negatron Cloak there for Kiwikid. So really it's Kiwikid who's a vulnerable target. As well as Scarra. Scarra, though, very long range. He can stay in the back. Kiwikid wants to get in the front.
Ooh, Twin Ghost.
Twin Shadow does catch one.
Spooky Ghost coming out. Cruzer gets hit up, and it's going to be the spear to the backside. That's why lawn darts are illegal.
Uh-oh. On the Hunt is popped here in the retreat. Oh,
Link, bad choice.
Talisman.
Oh, the Black Shield. That was so close, especially by Kiwikid. Almost a max range grab there.
Another binding.
He'll be all right. Takes one. He's not too sad about that. They're going to set up in mid lane here. Nien to the bottom lane. He's been playing his own side game the whole entire time.
And he also popped his ulti there. So Ryze ulti down, on the Hunt down as well. Dignitas with Baron buff definitely want to force another fight. The outer turret that is standing, extra gold for them to take. They definitely want to push down. There's a lot of poke. Oh my god! Scar's long range not coming into effect there. He was the other vulnerable target, but he was on the front line. Good skill shot from CLG.
Very nice. Sliding those right through the trees, threading the needle. Wards coming out for Dig are all over the map, but you can't get away from those skill shots. You like that?
Yeah, well, that was party over there for Scarra. He basically shut down the push for Dig. Getting nailed in the face there. They had such good vision control over the red side jungle.
He's got everything
and they had
still.
Baron. Dignitas had pretty much everything going in their way. but he just got a little anxious trying to traverse to the bottom side of the map. And you have to give credit to CLG for landing those skill shots one after the other. Aphromoo has been so good with his bindings this game.
Definitely coming up big. We've seen him talk about the Alistar combo earlier, about his Leona Zenith Blades and Solar Flares, but still making it work on Morgana as well. It's going to be his first play, like we said. He was able to bring out Thresh last week in Week 7, as he usually does, but everybody's bringing out the Morgana. Kiwikid says no. Amumu this time. They've been struggling a little bit with that. Like we said, they got out of the laning phase, but Dignitas is now putting themselves back in the game. Kiwikid is level 12, which may make the initiations hard, but Dig's been finding what they need so far.
Okay, Void Staff for Nidalee is big for the spears, but they also need one on Nien. Once the magic resist does really start stacking up for Dig.
Ooh.
Kiwikid taking one spear. He does have a Negatron cloak on himself now, though.
Yeah, you can see it's not half of his HP. That definitely makes an
They're
80 carry feel safer. They could get the pinch here. Nien's on one side. He can get to the back line. They go into Doublelift, making sure he gets on the hunt to assist the team. And full Soul Shackle goes down. Great spear to the back line, taking down Kiwikid. Dig is looking to reassess this fight. Maybe coming out here, Dexter and Nien could be pretty big. But Nien will not be able to rune prison anyone. They're just going to go for the pressure. Whoa, watch out.
Flame Chopper. They don't get the inhibitor, though. So it's just a little bit more gold here for Dig. Still a very close game. And as I said, they're pretty much always going to go for double. Get that AD off the field. Ooh, Link playing with fire here. Able to get out of the way, though.
Oh! A good 350 damage off of your health bar. Still with the Athene's Unholy Grail as well, so Link has to be very careful.
20 seconds. Nobody has vision of Baron. 4 sweepers for Dignitas. 2 for CLG. Dig definitely going to want to return to the Baron area to establish control and force CLG into making a bad decision, because Dig, with the crazy AoE team, obviously want CLG to walk right into them. And since CLG have no standing coverage of Baron, they are going to have to either side push and go for one of the exposed inhibitors. I don't think they can even walk over to Baron. I think they have to side push and go for one of the inhibitors.
Even if
when
they do
establish control.
Even if they do, they don't have a huge amount of damage to shred down Baron in the first place, so it's going to be scary. Dig will always have time to get there.
CLG got positioning, though. Whew. Yeah. That's pretty big for them. Aphromoo laying down the wards.
Got to be big positioning. Curse of the Sad Mummy, Crumbzz on Cyclone, and a Mega Inferno Bomb will be coming in. If you aren't positioned correctly, that could be half of everyone's health bar very quick. 3,600 gold in the lead. Actually, just 3,000 gold in the lead, as it's 50.8 on the other side. Turrets are almost evened up. The inhibitor turrets are really what's keeping Dignitas not at that Baron pit, not in the face of CLG right now. They got to make sure they don't lose those.
Yeah, there's a big wave top, and that's why the pings are already going down onto that top inhibitor. There's constant pressure since CLG have cracked open the base. Oh, they go for Scarra!
Oh, just flashes on the outside.
Ghost is going to get him, though. Nien's still going.
Nien's trying to go through. He flashes for the Rune Prison. How much power does he have? No, they blow up Scarra. Mega Inferno Bomb won't be used in the fight. He tried to throw it out. A good Curse of the Sad Mummy. Coming from the outside, Kiwikid has free damage to deliver to everybody, and they will receive. Link's on the outside. Kiwikid back in as well. They cannot kill Cruzer right now, but they are sure trying. Aphromoo still onto him. Cruzer in a 4v1 for a good 6 seconds. Kiwikid with the isotoners and a good grab there.
They need to get home guards. Okay, Crumbzz has home guards. That's 4 versus 3, though. Exposed inhibitor. Can CLG get this one?
They definitely have the HP advantage, Kobe. It's going to be big damage onto this.
They're getting one.
Flow some super minions into the bottom lane and give him a good amount of pressure to go back towards Baron.
He lands one cleaver, though. Good cocoon from Dexter to cover the escape. Cover fire does hit. Aphromoo also throwing one in for good measure. CLG come out with a win. Okay. I do want to take another look at that fight, though. CLG, they pressed so far. Nien did not give up on the chase, and that was a fight that was determined by milliseconds. Because they got the kill so fast and were able to get out the side of these 2 turrets, so they go in between the 2 turrets. If they were caught here at the turret, they would be toast. But all of CLG path out away from the turret. So the turrets are not actually doing damage to them, even though they dove so deep. And they did a great job positioning after they dove for the kill. This is why everyone's able to stay alive, because of that half second. And now another Baron fight breaking out. Dignitas starting it up and CLG on the outside poking.
Baron down to 3,500 HP. The smite's about to come in. 2,200 health on the Baron. Cruzer's very low. Both the junglers make it out. They make it back in, and it's going to be going down.
He got
Goes to Dexter, and CLG's coming up big on this. Kiwikid's in the back of the den, and he goes down as well. Dead to rights, and it looks like CLG's making their way for the next.
Nien feels very good about his situation now. All items stacked up. He's very powerful. Plus, inside the Baron pit, you get that magic damage debuff on the enemy team. He cleans everyone up. This is CLG pushing for the win.
CLG going hard. They have that primal surge coming from Link. They're going to be able to get very good attack speed and damage onto this inhibitor now. They could have just gone right through the bottom lane, but they know they have the power and enough time. 13 seconds, max 22 on Kiwikid. They could do it right here. Hits one, boomerang, 1, 2, 3. The punch, Scarra's lights out. And it's going to be the Nexus turret going down.
Aphromoo.
CLG in the third game of the day coming up with a win over Dignitas. This was a 1-to-1 head-to-head. CLG is going to get a few more kills. Actually, no, they take it down. CLG now 2-to-1 versus Dignitas.
Great game by both teams. Amazing, amazing early game calls from Dig. CLG reacts so well though, and they're able to get the map advantage, the positional advantage on that top side. So many bindings landing from Aphromoo, and the flash at the end just to secure this kill onto Scarra. Wow, Crumbzz as well. You have to shout out the all-star plays from Crumbzz, getting the Baron and turning it around for his team. Such a close game. Very well played by both teams.
I love the compositions coming into this one. Ryze and Morgana. You almost get a long-range Rune Prison and then someone to follow up again. And then the Nidalee Spears for someone standing still that long. They played it perfectly. And something that has amazed me about CounterLogic Gaming is when they put something in their sights, it doesn't seem like they falter. They wanted that the entire game. They don't hesitate and stop and have 10,000 gold and sit there on the outside of the base and wonder if they can win. They definitively are winning games.
Yeah, man, mid-game 2, rushing up to get more vision of Baron before Dig can actually establish their control. It's these so close, these few seconds that make the difference between the game-changing plays.
Like you said, Dignitas as well. Really showing a lot more of doing the right things when they needed to. They didn't look like they were scared to make calls. Like you said, Crumbzz making calls when they needed to. It was not a quiet game for Dig. There was still a lot of chatter, and it almost brought them back to a full win in that game.
The teleport from Cruzer towards the mid, that then they were just pretty much forced to go for that Baron because Nien was pushing up top, and they all got away with just slivers of HP. Crumbzz smiting the Baron. Oh, so close. But then in the end, CLG, they come up, they catch Dig at the, I don't even know, that must have been the second or third Baron that CLG had, CLG were able to catch Dig at and turn the game, winning it off of that one Baron fight.
It's crazy, and it's something they have to do, right? Dig's not throwing it Baron. They needed that.